So now starts the great trial. I'm sorry about the bad quality, maybe sometimes shaking of the image. I attached my selfie stick into the bottom of the transmitter, and now I'm going to go to the trial of trying to drive this truck all the way up the hill and put it through its paces and see what's good with it, see what's bad with it. Yeah, let's see how things will go. Okay, deflogs are off, so I can... Okay, let's go through there. I'm trying to avoid water, stagnant pools. Going... This is really steep hill, so I cannot go through all the places even myself by walking. Yeah. Going through all the undergrowth because... Okay, I guess now, which is the deflog should be... Yep. Makes a massive difference having the deflogs on. Okay. Can't ram down a tree. That type of... that bush or whatever it's... Yeah, tree stump. I mean, there's obviously going to be obstacles here which are way too big, even sometimes for a human, so I guess that's the part that the sensors will need to take care of. Yeah, running into the small stuff. So I will definitely have sensors that are able to detect the smaller, more difficult obstacles. How am I supposed to go up there? Let's see. I have no one particular route in mind. This is not an easy route. Let's hope my battery will last all the way up. Okay, I'm following deer trails because at least that's the way I can walk. Oh dear, okay. I can't see. What happened to the steering? It stopped responding. Now it's responding again. I need to check. Okay, I have branches all over the place. Let's roll it over. Seems to be clean enough. Esk isn't too hot, so I don't know why it stopped rotating. No cables in between. Or cables out of the way. Okay. I mean, this is not easy terrain, even for a... I'm used to walking here. And I'm teaching my daughter to do so. I mean, I love forests where I live. Anyone can walk everywhere they want. There's no concept of private property where you're not allowed to go except into... Well, you can't go to someone's yard. I know this is not common in the world, so I'm used to walking and roaming in all kind of forests and places. Got difficult terrain, but okay, here's the first. So I need to make sure that the autonomous sensors will be able to find a route that it can actually traverse. I mean, if I can't go there, it's most likely this one is not able to either. So one cannot assume that every place is possibly traversable. So it needs to have enough sensors to find routes which it can mitigate and map them down somehow. I know people have done water vehicles, and they seem to be okay, but there's also other animals here. We have lots of deers here and others. I'm hoping I'm not running into any of them. they're not unfriendly, but if they're big and if they get scared, spooked by you, you know, they're not going to be happy and they might run into you. So this is a really steep hill. I've fallen down this on, doesn't look that way here, but I've fallen down on it quite many times myself, especially when it's slippery. So let's take this one up here. And it's not only the, okay, if it starts to skid, oh, yep, that's the thing. Okay, I need to walk myself a bit carefully, otherwise I'm going to fall down here. Not obvious that I can either go here. Okay, now I need to stop for a while so I can actually climb up. Okay, this is one I fell down several times myself. There's water going underneath the growth. Okay, continuing. I mean, I think one of the key things is then to have a system which will drive around here. I will give GPS positions, it will go from one point to another, it will map. I have no idea how this will work. Most of the autonomous stuff which I've seen done has happened in a very structured environment with few individual objects, big clear pathways. Now, how you're going to have sensors react to these bushes, that's going to be rather tough. Usually the solutions make big enough vehicle that can just crush over everything and just mind the trees and see the terrain. And if it's big enough a vehicle, you don't need to care about the small details of the terrain. This one needs to. I have no idea how this will end up. Let's see, this is the first try to see if I need to modify something in this. But obviously, it sometimes drags some big branches. Okay, the deer path, it has no problem. Where should we go? Let's try to the right. Some branches, which will... I mean, when it's small obstacles like branches and stuff, I don't know if it's even possible with current technology to detect this so reliably. Let's give them well-etude. Oh, it's slippery, it's slippery. I'm almost falling down on myself. That thing, there's sometimes water and springs underneath. It's really slippery. You step on it, looks solid, you step on it and you fall on your back. It hurts. Done that many times. Back to the deer paths. I mean, these are kind of the roads which I normally use. The deers, I mean, they are more agile than I am. Okay, maybe I should remove the deflock and it's going on lower gear now. I don't know if it makes a difference. So there's a lot of rocks and you step between them and it suddenly falls down. I mean, I can get stuck there, so I'm just thinking, should I try go between them? I mean, I think there's still more rocky areas like that to come. We can give it a try around them. I definitely won't be able to climb or grow over these rocks here. Based on as I understand, this area is very high hill. You can see far away. This used to be an island just after the ice age started to recede. There's a little pond there. I'm not even trying to go to that pond. Okay, got stuck. Okay, diff locks, definitely. Yeah, the diff locks make the difference. Definitely. I tried diff locks with higher speed and the gearing and didn't matter much. Okay, so I have no idea where I should try to go. I think if you think about sensor-wise, it should be something that it can find kind of a clear path way while scanning ahead. At least in the undergrowth, the deer paths make a... Okay, I will stick to the deer paths now. There's a lot of deer. Yeah, there's still enough obstacles here, but so far no problems. I think if you have to go somewhere too sideways, yeah, this is one issue. There's branches gathering, so I need to figure out I mean, you can't prevent them from going to this transmission, but yeah, need to think. I don't get stuck with those. They don't really stop them, but they can get tangled inside the transmission. Well, this is narrow enough. I mean, if I would make it wide, it would be more stable sideways. But I have a feeling it would not fit through narrow gaps like this one here. Okay, let's choose the direction. Okay, that's a good example. Narrow gap under the branch. Going. Yeah, I mean, I will have a higher toilet cabin here. That will definitely obstruct somewhat, but it will be a hard body one, and there will be sensors, so it will definitely be more higher than this one. Question is, should it be? Should I try to just make it as low as possible and forget the cabin and all the niceties? Maybe I actually should. I need to really think. I was thinking of putting this nice Russian Soviet truck cabin there on top. I'm really suspicious if that's a good idea now or not. Maybe I should keep to this and just put the aluminum there and the equipment on top. Keep it as flat as possible. Yeah, need to think. Okay, you see, that one could go. Oh blood! I have t-shirt on, and these needles are never the most pleasant thing. They get entangled usually with all the cables which I'm carrying for recording this. Okay, up we go. At least, and smack in. If you don't see, there's a small stump of a bush. If you don't see that, you're going to smack into it straight away. I've seen people do crawling stuff in, I don't know, in the UK and other places in YouTube where they have very little undergrowth or anything. Yeah, not the case where I live. And this is actually quite clear and modest. If you go to purely natural and not maintained forests, it's a lot worse. Even places where you really, even as a human, you can't really easily walk or it's really slow. So far, okay, there's those stones. I don't believe it will be able to climb any, yeah, because it usually dips down before the stone, you just sink underneath. Okay, I'll just try the deer path, which seems more realistic. I think the more interesting will be when I will have sensors. And I think I will need to add some sensor to basically IMU to see how it tilts, to give it a warning that knows how to control itself. GPS definitely. And I want to buy those not from these expensive dealers. I think I want to do this so that others could also repeat what I'm doing in a decent amount of money. So I think I'll just try to order as much stuff from AliExpress or something similar. There's the top of the hill. I think I'll just now skip the deer path and just go out of the path to see how things will go. I'm using diff locks on all the time on lower gear because it seems to be the key. Even if I put the throttle down, it will go fast enough. I have absolutely. Okay, so there's the top of the hill. I'm here. You can see I'm already. Where I left is kind of down the level. You see the fields down that way. Okay. Let's give it the welly. What is? No problem whatsoever. I mean, now it's dry. Kind of not dry. The undergrowth is not dry, but it's at least not the worst way. I think it will need to learn to reverse because it can easily get into, like that. It will dig itself. And how it's going to detect all those small, very rigid branches, which are, even I can step and stumble on them. Okay, I guess that when I put the diff on and turn like this, it starts to make funny sound. So I need to make some sort of limits to this one, definitely. Actually, if I remember, I can put now the diffs are not on. This is the front diff off. Yeah, now I should be able to. Okay, I need to put diffs on. So the use of diffs is rather difficult because when they're locked, it doesn't rotate, turn fast enough. Sorry, turn fast enough for me to be able to do this. Ooh. Ha. Ha. Okay, another steep one. By the way, I'm in Finland, if you haven't noticed. So in Finland we have the rarity in no, there are other countries like this, but you can just walk in any forest you want. You're just not allowed to damage the forest because that's the property of the owner, but you're allowed to go there, walk, pick berries you're allowed to, and so on. What's going on here? I believe it's the sound of the servo making some bad noise. I think it's about, I need to set the steering, because this one, no problem, nasty noise. This one, no problem, nasty noise. I think it didn't do that in the beginning. Maybe I overheated, overloaded the servo. So maybe in the end I still need to get a better, way better servo than this one. Not sure, please write in comments if you know the reason why that sound is coming. Maybe the end stop sound probably. I think it didn't make that sound when I started off. At one point when it's just refused to turn, and now it's turning again, maybe it's just overheated. Okay, I need to turn a bit more carefully, and definitely with the, now it's again not turning. Yeah, I think the servo is failing completely. And there's twigs everywhere. Yeah, I need to protect this a bit better. Esk is okay. Okay, let's. Sorry about showing my toes, but I think the servo just failed completely. It got stuck into one position, that's it. Now it's working again. I don't know what's going on with the servo. Is it overloading? I have to say, based on this one, I mean, I was worried about the cock-up, which I did with the installation of the servo, but that one, it seems to be having some problems with the overloading. I mean, it would be nice if we could set inside the servo endpoints, but of course it depends on the diff setup. One might be just to have the diff on in the rear always and in the front not. Please leave comments on that, people who do more of this crawling stuff. I have to say, this is actually a really fabulous field of RC. Oh, it's very slippery here. It's water underneath, that's white stuff. This one goes nicely on top, which is advantage. So question is that, should I rather get a better servo and ditch the cabin, because that's going to be height. It's going to add a lot of instability here. I mean, it will look nice, but it's only for the looks. There is rather more protection. Okay, I need to really reflect on these results. Again, it stopped. Now it's turning right. Wait. It sometimes just goes to the other direction and refuses to go to the other. Oh, here's some rocks. We're running on top of the hill. And giving it the welly. Yeah, no problems whatsoever. The steering is definitely it sometimes seems to just overheat or just die and not react. And actually I was letting it just beep it, lifted it out, and it again started working. I have no idea. That servo is a bit unreliable and problem since I don't know half what's going inside there. Maybe I should get a more robotic servo, I don't know, or some way better servo, more expensive than this one. Like they say, some competition. So, okay, now we made it all the way to the top of the hill. Yeah, like this. There's so much vegetation, trees, pines. It's a beautiful. It's the first really summery or spring day I've had during the year. The spring is very late, so I haven't been able to make this video or about the Turbo Optima either, or do any of my outdoor technological adventures, which I will do videos of. Yeah. So now it's time to go back down. It's downhill, 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 downhill. Let's see how it will go. Probably not the same route. I will try go with the non-diffs. I mean, the computer will need to definitely have programming about which situations to use which configuration of the diffs and the steering. I would say the platform itself is, I would say, really good. I mean, most of the stuff is standard. I don't know if I really need to upgrade. It's more stiffer. It will take me beating. Maybe some more protection needed. I would say definitely prevent all the tweaks and stuff going from everywhere inside, because when it's autonomous, I mean, I guess I will be looking after it in the face, but at some point it will just need to go by itself. That's the point of autonomous. Again, yeah, the steering stopped completely responding. That's really weird. It's not responding. I don't know what it's doing. It's just stuck to one end position and not working. Need to be careful. The deers have better traction than I have. Yeah, this one went underneath. But now the question is, how on earth am I? It looks easy, but it's not, because it's slippery everywhere. Hopefully I don't slide. Please don't slip. Please don't slip. Oh, it's so slippery. Okay. I'm just going down without diffs on the lower gearing. And again it got stuck. Why is that? Now it's steered. Diffs are off. It didn't make this sound before. I don't know what's wrong with this. The sound is coming from the servo. Maybe it's the limit, but I didn't go even close to the limit and just stuck there. I guess, okay, maybe it doesn't have enough torque to straighten itself in this, where the whole heavy rear is on top of it. I really wonder if any of the deers are looking and what's this guy doing? Why is he driving the forest with this weird sounding device and talking to himself? Yeah, maybe putting the diffs on and going over sideways and running into a tree. Yeah, there's servos got stuck again. Interesting. Really? There's some branch stuff there, but I think it went to the extreme, but come on, don't fail now. Let's take it to clear and force the steering. So the end stops definitely need. To be honest, when I promised autonomous vehicle, a crawler, I have a bad feeling it's going to be one hell of a challenge. Well, I think at least I will give it a try and see how it goes. And the attempt is more interesting maybe than just succeeding downright. I have a feeling this will also be a much longer project than I thought. Well, I have other stuff to show you as well if there will be pauses. No problems whatsoever. Yeah, I'm having more problems actually coming down here than this one. I don't know if you can see. This is the ground view, which the device had to go up. That front aluminum is really working in pushing things. I maybe need to extend it a bit more. Oh, I have to, can you, if you can go, oh crap. Sorry. I was just disappointed because that one went through this without problem. Now I have to also go, apologize for the dirt in the lenses. Oh. Again, steering only problem. Oh my god, this device is incredible. I've had some small RC-sized platforms for robotics before, and most of them was, let's put it this way, waste of money, and didn't perform half of what they advertised and so on. This one definitely does. Yes, that means that the deers were having, or rabbits were having a lunch here, or having their toilet here. Yeah, I think the upgrade path is going to be very different than what I was thinking it would be. Yeah, and it stops on steep. Oh, this is again one I need to be careful, otherwise I'm going down myself with the sliding on my bottom. I'm not driving it to the pond. I have to say the tires are pretty amazing, these default ones. I can't even imagine how good the others will be. Okay, and finally back. A lot of mosquitoes bothering me. So that's it, thank you. And yeah, I think I will just make another video about the analysis. Thank you for watching, subscribe, like and stuff like that.